Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Lawrence, and um, before I edit some videos and posts regarding some of the new episodes of my podcast, I decided to share my experience of using Vaporfly and Alphafly. I always curious which one is faster, and I heard so many ideas, so many opinion. They said that Alphafly is faster, Vaporfly is faster, and so many comments on how the shoes react. And so today I tried to use both, and the reason why I got an Alphafly because yesterday I have this since November last year. I bought it in marketplace, and I was trying to save this on for race day or for race season. So since it's we are less than a month in my uh, marathon race, I decided to use this yesterday, and I used it yesterday for the first time. And what happened is that while I was in the oval, there is a football uh, ball that came close to me, and the boy asks me if I can kick the ball so that he can have the ball towards him. So when I kick the ball, this part of the sole scratched the rubber of the track, and what happens that this one it opened. So yesterday, ano to, bukas to. And I was so pissed off with myself kasi nga, ang tagal ko siyang iniingatan. And then for first day, na ginamit to, nasira. So I was worried because this is my racing shoes. Uh, so what I did is that I bought a super glue, and nilagyan ko ng super glue. So far okay naman, but I'm still worried that anytime pwede siyang bumigay. So I found a good deal in marketplace, and I bought this Alphafly version 1. uh, Both of them are size 8, and so today I tried to use it and to find out how it feels, and also to understand which one is faster for me. Okay, because everyone has different style of stride, running form, and some says that Alphafly is better and faster. Some say Vaporfly is better and faster. But I wanted to try out for myself and see which one is better. So first of all, before I tell you which one is better, I would like to comment some of the points that I noticed. So when it comes to lockdown, uh, I really enjoy the lockdown of Vaporfly 2. The reason is that every time ako nagsusot ng sapatos, okay, and except it is a triathlon race, I'm always going to use a normal lace. The reason is that for me, I always use a runner knot. And for me also, as well, mas maganda yung lockdown niya. Mas lalong nakalock yung paa mo dito sa bandang huli, at hindi sumasayad yung mga toes ko sa harap ng shoes. When it comes to Alphafly, I don't know why, but they have a different shoelace hole. So hindi ako makagawa ng runner's knot dito. And so yun yung observation ko. So for me, hindi ganun kaganda yung lockdown ng sapatos to, but still it's okay. But comfort wise, or you used to that runner's knot and a good lockdown, so parang hinahanap-hanap ko yung ganong situation sa shoes. When it comes to comfort, both has a good comfort, but it will depends on kung I think kung paano ka mag-run. If you are a 4-foot runner, or more on mas naglaland palagi yung 4-foot mo, I think mas ano mo to, mas magi-enjoy ka dito. Uh, but since I'm a mid-foot runner, or sometimes meron din konting heel strike, but more on mid-foot runner, para sa akin, mas okay tong Vaporfly kasi somehow uh, nararamdaman ko yung sole sa heel niya. So at first, akala ko nung una, kasi the difference between these two is that this one has an 8mm drop, this one has a 6mm drop. So, ibig sabihin, mas mataas yung sole dito sa bandang huli. Dito naman, mas mababa ng 2mm. But then, both shoes almost has the same stack height kasi it's I think 39 or 39 millimeter both. But dito, since meron siyang pad, I think mas mataas siya. So when I run using these shoes, hindi ko masyadong nararamdaman tong yung ano na to. And for me, I think that since hindi to masyadong naglaland, masyadong tight yung calf ko. So, but it's not really a concern. And when I use this one, 4 foot yung landing ko, and somehow ito maglaland sa ano, after ng 4 foot maglaland itong sa heel, and then what will happen, nare-relax ngayon yung other parts of foot ko. When it comes to downhill, I prefer Vaporfly kasi ito, since hindi siya ganong kaganda yung lockdown, I'm always scared that parang hindi siya masyadong stable when it comes to downhill. Bakit ko masyadong tinutuunan ng pansin yun? Kasi pagdating sa marathon race ko, marami siyang mga downhill portion. May mga downhill portion siya. At kung hindi ka mag-take advantage ng downhill portion na yun, hindi, later on kasi, pagdating sa race na yun, yung the last 5K or 10K, napakahangin. So, ine-expect, even yung mga top elite na naglalaro doon, they always expect na at the end of the last 10K or 5K ng race, masyadong mahangin. So, they always expect na babagal yung pace nila. Kaya sinabi nila sa akin na always take advantage of the downhill portion ng race. And that's why, for me, that is very important to consider. And Vaporfly has a very good lockdown, so mas maganda yung downhill niya. When it comes to cornering, of course, Vaporfly, kasi ito, Alphafly has a higher stack height sa harap. So, ang mangyayari, kapag sa mga cornering, mas hindi siya ganun ka-stable. When it comes to toe room, o yung room dito sa harap, mas maganda dito. Mas komportable yung mga daliri ko sa paa sa Alphafly kaysa dito, kasi ito medyo narrower compared dito sa Alphafly. Another thing is that when it comes to stability, meron siyang arc dito sa Alphafly, pero sa Vaporfly wala siya masyadong arc. But then, stability-wise, I would consider, when you say stability-wise, mas stable itong itakbo compared dito. But then, if you're looking for a little bit arc support sa sapatos, this one has a better arc support. And yeah, so, which one I prefer? Which one I'm going to use for a race? Well, hopefully hindi pa masira tong Vaporfly ko na to, kasi kung hindi to masira, ito yung gagamitin ko sa race ko. If not, then I will go for this. But based on my observation, okay, I will prefer, the reason why I prefer this is that mas mabilis ako dito. And the reason why masasabi ko yon, because today I did a time trial of 3K for both shoes with the controlled effort of 300 average of 300 watts. So 300 watts, ano ba yung compare yun? So if I'm going to compare my performance on my run in my last 5K time trial, on my last K time trial, what I did is that I did a 5K in 18.2 24 minutes. And the total distance for that is 2.02 kilometers. And the average that I did was 3.37 based on Strava. And then, the average watts na ginawa ko according to my watch, which is a Polar Vantage V, ang average ko is 323 watts. So today, just to make sure na if I do a 3K time trial, I can still do the same effort sa pangalawang time trial ko. So binabaan ko yung effort ko. So I did a 300 watts average. And if I'm going to compare this effort to my marathon effort, it would be a little bit closer. It can be a little bit lower or a little bit higher na target ko sa marathon ko, but it will all depends on my lactate meter testing that I'm going to do before the race. So doon ko malalaman if this effort would be sustainable for the whole 42 kilometers. So that's what I did. 3K time trial, same distance, same location, condition wise, hindi siya mahangin. The reason why hindi siya mahangin because it is a trail na kung saan may mga puno. So kung meron man hangin yon, it will be I will be covered by the trees. So effort wise, I didn't bother checking the heart rate, but I always check the average watts. All right? And based on the result, okay, mas mabilis ako dito sa Vaporfly. On my first run with the Alphafly, nag-average ako ng 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Sa second run ko dito sa Vaporfly, nag-average ako ng 3 minutes and 57 minutes per kilometer. So mas mabilis siya ng mga ilang segundo. And if you're going to consider that in a marathon distance, then malaki yung difference sa time. Okay? Now that is my comparison when it comes to speed. Ngayon, the reason why I use another watch on my right hand, which is the Garmin, so that I can use the running pod. And for this, I can understand what's happening on my stride, on my form, kapag gamit-gamit ko yung parehas na sapatos. And when I check the data, it's very interesting. Naintindihan ko kung bakit parang sa tingin ko yun yung reason bakit parang mabagal yung Vaporfly, yung Alphafly compared sa Vaporfly, even though we're using the same I'm using the same average of watts. Okay, so now I'm gonna show you a data that I just prepared, and yeah, my all right. So this is the comparison. At the top, this is the first run, and I was using the Alphafly. The average was 404 minutes per kilometer. The average was 300, but if you can see, my cadence is a little bit lower. I always trying to maintain a cadence of 180. And this one, if we're going to check that, it's gonna be somewhere around 175. But still, it's okay because they said that 180 is the number, magic number, which is it all really depends on your cadence or how tall you are. And these people are saying that okay, 175, 180 above, that's fine. Now, on the second run, when I was using the Vaporfly, okay, my cadence is 90
steps per minute. And in Garmin data, this is 180. The average watts, it's a little bit higher. It's like 2 point higher. But if you can see, whether it is a 2 point higher, ang layo pa rin ng difference. It has how many? Yeah, I think 7 seconds difference. So this is the effort that I noticed. And I just noticed also, curious lang ako, when I was using Alphafly, okay, my heart rate average is 152. But when I'm using Vaporfly, my heart rate is 166. But the thing is that for me, this is still above the zone na kaya kong i-sustain, or like sustainable for me. So it's not really, if I'm going to continue doing 166 or 152, then the zones will still be the same. At least for me, it's not. It doesn't bother me, because when I'm running, it's either I always check the pace or the average watch. So now, this is the interesting part. So on the left side, this is the data when I'm using the Vaporfly. The Alphafly. On the right side, this is the data when I'm using the Vaporfly. So let's consider first the average cadence when it comes to Vaporfly and Alphafly. So if you can see, as I mentioned before, mas maganda yung cadence ko dito sa Vaporfly. Habang tumatakbo ako, hindi ko pinapansin yung ano. I see my cadence, but I don't bother changing my stride. I don't bother changing my form. My focus on the run was to sustain the average watts, kasi yun yung effort ng basihan ko. It's not about the cadence. And I noticed na mas normal na maganda yung takbo ko sa Vaporfly kesa sa Alphafly. Another interesting part here is that if you see, my cadence is lower on the left side and my cadence is higher on the right side, but then the average stride length is the same, 1.39 meters. Okay. The vertical ratio is different. Based on the Garmin data, the lower your vertical ratio, the better it will be. The reason why mas mababa to o magkaiba, if you can see, average stride length is same, but vertical ratio is different, because the reason why, on my vertical oscillation, mas mababa to. So meaning that mas maganda yung movement ko forward if I'm using Vaporfly compared with Alphafly. Ito yung sinasabi nila na if you're using in Alphafly, mas mataas yung bounce mo. And this is the proof that Alphafly ay mas mataas yung bounce mo. And I think this is the reason why ang layo ng difference ng speed nung ginamit ko yung Vaporfly and Alphafly. Okay? The effort is the same, the stride length is the same, but then since mas matagal ako sa ere at yung effort ko most of the time when it comes to Alphafly ay pataas instead of moving forward, yun yung reason bakit for me mas bumagal ng konti si Alphafly kesa kay Vaporfly, because mas mataas yung vertical oscillation ko using Alphafly than Vaporfly. Another thing is that I noticed that the ground contact time. The ground contact time is very important kasi it also, the faster, the higher your seconds, mas less stressful sa paa. So based on my observation here, I think the reason why mas mataas yung vertical, yung ground contact nitong Alphafly kasi when I land on the Alphafly, hindi na masyadong sumasayod yung heel ko. I don't know, but that's my observation. But then it's not really important for me. This 5 milliseconds is very small, and for me, this 214 millisecond is still a good number. Yeah, so I think that's the reason bakit mas mabagal ng konti si Alphafly kaysa kay Vaporfly, because when I run, I have a higher vertical oscillation dito sa Alphafly compared sa Vaporfly. And vertical oscillation, sinasabi nga ni Garmin, sinasabi nga ng mga running clinics and laboratories, sports laboratories, that vertical oscillation is a byproduct of running. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo maiiwasan yan. It will always be there because there would always be a time that both of your feet is always above the ground when running. But then, there is a way that you can minimize or lower down your vertical oscillation. And the lower the vertical oscillation is better because it means that you're moving forward more instead of moving upward. So, and also they said that if you move upward, you will go down. But when it comes to running, ang main goal natin is to move from A to B, means that your effort should be A to B, not vertical, not up and down. And yeah, so this is my observation. And hopefully naging very interesting sa inyo. I also would like to encourage you that since everyone has a different style of running, everyone has a different style of running form, stride, or some of us are like a cadence guy, some of us are more on an oscillation guy or a runner. So I suggest that you do the same test. If you have a power meter, then go ahead. But if you don't have a power meter, then what you can do is that you can set an average. No, not an average. Yeah, you can do the same time trial, and you can base your effort whether it is based on pace or based on the average heart rate. And if you're basing your effort on the average pace, then ang comparison mo ngayon kung sino ang mas mababang heart rate. At kung sino yung mas mababang heart rate, meaning yun yung sapatos na mas mabilis para sa'yo. Ngayon, if you're going to base your effort based on your heart rate, then you're going to maintain an average heart rate on that distance. At kung sino yung mas mabilis sa dalawa, ibig sabihin, yun yung mas mabilis na sapatos para sa inyo. Alright, so I hope na meron kayong natutunan. And if you have any question, just comment down below. And yeah, I wish that I can review or give opinion to other shoes, but mahal ang sapatos. And that's it. Thank you very much.